And we are live. Hello, guys. Welcome to Jane and Toby's True Crime Morning. Today on the show, a California mother is arrested after her 3 young children, all under age 5, are found stabbed to death. A woman kills 2 men and feeds them to her pigs, and police wonder if there's been more victims. And a possible cannibalism case turns into 8 men missing in Toronto. If you're not familiar with our show here, we are the sister show to the main Jason Hebert channel, where I interview the loved ones of missing persons and unsolved crimes in an effort to help spread awareness and bring justice. This morning show is a bit of an extension to that nighttime program and works a bit differently. Instead of interviewing the subjects, we instead take a look at the stories from a third-party perspective and give our own opinions of them, as well as communicating with you, the subscribers, through the chat in an effort to get to know you guys better. We also raise money during the show to support the efforts required to find the families we interview, research their cases, promote the stories, and everything else that comes along with the time-intensive processes that have come to make up the nearly 120 interviews we have on our main channel. So we do appreciate if anyone can donate to support, anyone who does. So if you wish to do so, the link is in the description of the video and will also be being posted throughout the show in the chat. Anyone who does donate will get a couple cool perks. First off, we'll post your name on screen throughout the duration of the show, and I'll show you in just a moment how that works. Lastly, each donation gets our adorable co-host Toby here a treat. Boom. So any donations go to our man here, something fun we do to help keep a little motivation to keep our Toby motivated to stay and hang out with us. So, and as far as putting you on screen, the way that we do that is just like this. We'll put the stream's supporters. And right now it'll say N/A because as far as I know, nobody has donated just yet. Okay, so we'll do it just like this. And we'll throw it up there on screen. In the first 10 minutes, we call it the lightning round. It does get Toby double treats. So if anybody's donation comes within the next 10 minutes, it will count as double for the Toadmeister. You see? Okay. Just double checking it, making sure I got all my windows up so that we know if anybody does come in support. It's been a slow few days, so I'm hoping today is a little better. I have to be honest, the last 2 or 3 have been extremely slow by our usual standards. So hopefully we make up for that today. So in just a moment, we'll get into our first story. I'm just arranging them here. And we have a couple other things we can look at too. Starting on Wednesday, we're going to be also showing Wendy and Annie's, what do you call it? Give me a second here. Wendy and Annie's stories that they're putting together. They're doing some research. And hey, what's up, Shay? Hey, Chris. Hey, Junie. Looks like we only got a few people here so far. Hopefully it fills up a little more. But yeah, we're going to be showing their cases that they've been working on and putting together. So we'll start on Wednesday. Alrighty. Well, let's give it a few minutes to hopefully fill up a little more because it is still early. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Today seeming like it too, but today, including the last 2 or 3 days, has been really, really slow with a lot less people coming in and just a lot less of everything happening. So we'll see how that turns out. We'll give it a couple more days and see if we need to make some changes or what we need to do. But why don't we get going on our first story? Good morning, Shells. All right, we got people starting to come in now. They do love us. They do love us. So again, it is 11:28 right now. We'll do it till 11:40. My time, of course, depends on where you are. But so the next 11 minutes, just turned 11:29, is the lightning round. First donation gets Toby double treats. Okay. So a California mother is arrested after her 3 young children, all under age 5, are found stabbed to death. The youngest child, 6 months old. A California woman has been arrested after her 3 children were found dead in their home, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. On Saturday, Liliana Carrillo was taken into custody after fleeing the scene of the crime, the LAPD tweeted. Carrillo, 30, was confirmed to be the mother of the 3 slain children and was described as the sole suspect, the LAPD added in a separate tweet. The 3 kids were ages 3, 2, and 6 months old, according to the Los Angeles Times. Authorities did not confirm a cause of death for the children, and no motive has yet to be provided. Just going over some tweets here. Oh, this is her. Let's show her. LAPD headquarters tweets. The cause of death has yet to be determined, as well as a motive. At this time, we're asking for the public's help in locating a person of interest in this case, a female Hispanic 30-year-old named Liliana Carrillo. That is what they tweeted. Of course, we know that that is the mother, who it looks like they believe is responsible for the deaths, and this is her right here. So I pray that this mother did not do that to her 3 children, but somebody did. And whoever it is needs to be held accountable. So if you know where this person is, please let the authorities know. The bodies of Carrillo's 3 children were discovered by their grandmother around 9:30 a.m. local time in the neighborhood of Reseda, LAPD Sergeant David Bambrick detailed to NBC Los Angeles. Police initially identified Carrillo as a person of interest in the killings before they later shared a statement saying that the mother of 3 committed a carjacking near Bakersfield. Wow. The mother of 3 committed a carjacking. That's a sentence you don't read every day. And may have been driving in a stolen pickup truck. Carrillo was later apprehended and taken into custody in Tulare County after a long-distance car chase, the Times reported. These are the moments we carry throughout our career, Lieutenant Raul Joel said, according to the outlet. It's hard to process that as a police officer. Hearing a mother do some things like this, you never get used to it. You know, a mother harming her own children, or even something as odd as a mother committing a carjacking. Just, how do you normalize that? The children's father, Eric Denton, is devastated over the news of his children's death. His cousin Terry Miller told NBC Los Angeles, adding that Denton had been trying to get custody of his 3 kids and had reportedly reached out to the Department of Children and Family Services and police for help on numerous occasions. Elizabeth Cuevas, a resident who lived in the apartment above Carrillo, told the Times that she knew the children's grandmother, who was reported to be their primary caregiver. On one occasion, Cuevas said she met one of the children, a little girl, who asked if she could pet her Chihuahua mix. She was a perfect little angel, Cuevas told the Times. She was precious beyond what you could imagine. Oof. Sad, sad, sad. A GoFundMe page has been created in an effort to aid the family. Well, rest in peace to those 3 little babies. Let's say that first off. And whoever harmed them, I hope they throw the book at you, because I can't even imagine why somebody would do that. That is just sickening, sickening, sickening. Next up. And we got our first donation. The lovely Junie coming in with a $10 donation. And I, of course, didn't copy it to paste it. Annie, what's up, sweetheart? So, Annie, I don't know if you got my message on Facebook, but I'm thinking we'll start yours and Wendy's cases maybe Wednesday. I want to just let enough of them build up, as many as we can. And does that sound good to you? And when Watcher comes, we'll see if it sounds good to her. So we got Junie coming in with $10. Why? Because she's amazing. That's why. No other reason. No other reason, but she is just an amazing person. Yeah, Annie. Oh, we're so sorry. I know you were here yesterday when I posted that picture. I didn't see you. I'm trying to think, were you here after that? I don't think you were as active, maybe. So I was hoping it wasn't just because I hope I didn't make you upset. Junie says treats for Toby ×2. That is right. Toby, the lucky boy, coming in with 2 treats because of who? Because of Junie. So say thank you. Thank you, Junie. I love you so much. All righty. And Toby gives a little yawn first before he gets ready to accept his treat. Shall you accept your treats today, my lord? You shall. Okay. 1. He's like, I shall. I shall accept. Yes, servant, I shall accept my treats. Now feed me. Okay. Yeah, thank you for saying that, Chris. We all are here supporting Annie. If anyone doesn't know, let me bring up my picture. I still have it up here, actually. Annie lost her baby last night, her fur baby, Gigi. The poor dog. 2005 to 2021. So rest in peace to Gigi. Rest in paradise. You can see the eye there. You can tell she's sick. But she gave her 16 long, good years. Not too many animals get 16 years, so great job, Annie. And I know that she had a great life and you did a great job. So our hearts go out to you, and hopefully you can, get over it. And I know it's a tough thing to deal with. It's like losing a kid. It really is. People who aren't animal lovers don't know. It really is like losing a kid. Very similar. Next up, a woman murders 2 men and feeds them to her pigs. But before we do that, let's get Junie on screen. Because like I said, this is what we do. So that's what I was saying earlier. If you donate to the show, you go right there in the main screen so everyone can see you and see how awesome you are. Let me check one more thing before we get going on the next story. Okay, so that's Junie right there. Perfect. All right. Oh, you okay? His head gas. All right. So a woman murders 2 men and feeds them to her pigs, but did she do it to others? That is the question. Initially, Susan Monica claimed she only killed Robert Haney because she found the pigs eating him alive and wanted to put him out of his misery. Well, that's a creative reason, huh? Do pigs eat people alive? I've never heard of that. Pigs don't kill people and eat them alive, do they? Has that ever happened? Sorry, guys, I gotta check that. Do pigs eat humans alive? Sorry. It says, but not at all common. It's a fact. Pigs eat people. In 2019, a Russian woman fell into an epileptic emergency while feeding her hog. She was eaten alive. Oh, wow, it does happen. But it's not common. But if you fall into an epileptic seizure or something, they may eat you. Oh, boy. You know what's scary about that? I did not at all think that was going to be the answer. Do you know why? Because pigs are smarter than dogs. They are smart little animals. So that's really scary to see that they'll eat you alive. Because they say they're smarter than dogs. So would your dog do that if you just had a seizure? Jeez. Definitely wouldn't. See, pigs over dogs, guys. Pigs over dogs. Team dog. No, dogs over pigs. What am I saying? Dogs over pigs. You imagine that? Thank God dogs don't do that. They sure wouldn't be man's best friend if that was a possibility. What happened to Joey? He had a seizure and his dogs ate him. You do not hear that. Okay, so Susan Monica's property seemed eerie to others, especially because she allegedly said at one point 17 bodies were buried there. Okay, so something's up with this lady. Did 17 people get eaten alive and you wanted to put them out of their misery? Monica was born Stephen Buchanan in California in 1948. Oh, okay, so she was born a man. She served in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War. Following an honorable discharge, she began living as a woman. She got into an exciting career and was very successful, former Jackson County Sheriff's Detective Eric Henderson told Snapped. In 1991, Monica bought a 20-acre farm in rural, I hate that word, Weimar, Oregon, W-I-M-E-R. I believe you say that, Weimar. If I'm saying that incorrectly, I apologize. She had a herd of pigs, raised chickens, and ran a wrought iron fence and gate building business named White Queen Construction. That's a pretty name. When Monica first bought her property, it was undeveloped woodlands. She erected a large barn and started work on a house. In 2013, she hired Robert Haney. He was her handyman, laborer, carpenter, whatever she asked of him, he did. Former employee Sean Lemanis told Snap. Robert had found Monica through an ad on Craigslist. My dad and Susan Monica had a deal. My dad would get part cash and be able to stay on the property. My dad agreed to build a house from the bottom up, son Jesse Haney explained to producers. Well, that's a heck of a deal. I'd sure let someone live with me if they're going to build a house on my property. Wow, that lady had a good deal going. Jesse said his father enjoyed the peace and quiet of living alone out in the woods. However, things got a little too quiet in December of 2013. We hadn't seen or heard from my dad in 2 months. We just all started to panic, Jesse told producers. Guys, give me 1 second. I have to refill my coffee and run to the bathroom. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Don't leave, though. Hang out with me and Toby. We have more coming. Oh, before I do, we have another supporter coming through. And, of course, the lovely Annie Ferguson, as always. And she says, thank you all for your kind thoughts and prayers. Annie, I was thinking, since you helped so much with this show, I don't know if I think I have asked you this before. I think you said you couldn't. You wouldn't want to co-host the interview with me, right? I'm pretty sure you said no. You don't have to answer that if you don't want to publicly. Sorry. Just crossed my mind, and I'm like, oh, I never answered that. And then another part of my mind is like, actually, yes, you did. Okay, so we'll count it as part of the lightning round. So it gets Toby 2 treats. Hang on a second, guys. Give Toby 2 treats. Say thank you, Annie. Thank you, Annie. Uno. It does. Let me put the second one here. Let me run and just go to the bathroom real quick, guys, and grab my coffee. I'll be right back. Don't leave. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm better behind the camera for now anyway. Okay. I thought you had said that, but I just wanted to make sure. I'm sure you do know that you are always welcome to come here with us. But I assume you know that already. So, all right. So Toby get his 2 treats courtesy of Annie. So let's go back to Susan Monica, the woman who is feeding people to pigs. The question is, how many people? So they hadn't seen or heard from their dad in 2 months. Not yet. On January 1st, 2014, the Haney kids drove out to check on their dad. They spoke to Monica, who claimed she hadn't seen him since he quit 4 months earlier. Susan Monica said that my dad just basically left. She wanted us to come retrieve our dad's stuff, Jesse told producers. But when they saw his trailers, the Haneys knew something was wrong. His leather jacket was there, his dog was still running around, and all his tools were there. It made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. So, yeah, when someone goes missing and all their stuff is still just sitting there, it's like, wait a second. The person I know would take all this stuff with them. That's always one red flag. Okay, so you guys talk about emails and stuff already. The Haneys filed a missing persons report with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. They learned months had passed since anyone had seen Robert, and he had lived on cash, all of which made it difficult to track his movements. He's like me. I'm not a big credit card guy and all that, just cash. Mostly. Detectives drove out to Monica's property to ask her about Robert's disappearance. The property was cluttered with vehicles, debris, and makeshift structures. I'm thinking to myself as we're pulling up, are we in the Twilight Zone here? Henderson recalled. Monica told them Robert had lived and worked on her property for 6 months, but took a bad turn in the fall. He received a concerning phone call from a family member that she had been the victim of assault, and he was really upset about that, she had said. Monica claimed Robert then began drinking heavily and acting erratically. She said he eventually told her he was going away for a while and asked her to take care of his dog. Authorities were able to track Robert's Oregon Trail Electronics benefit transfer card. They learned it had been used in December 2013 at a Walmart in Grants Pass, Oregon, about a 25-minute drive from Monica's property. It had been used at a date after Susan Monica said that he had disappeared. Jackson County Deputy District Attorney Alan Smith told producers. Detectives reviewed security camera footage which showed Monica using Robert's EBT card. When someone goes missing and you're walking around using their EBT card, let me tell you, that doesn't look good for you. Yes, Ronnie, I do know by now. I force myself to never make that mistake again. And we have Ronnie coming through. The lovely Ronnie with a donation of $20. A mistake I'll sure never make again by calling her something else. Thank you so much to our lovely Ronnie, who gets Toby a treat. And we have Annie putting the links to both of our channels. Please make sure you subscribe to both of them. On this one, we do a little morning show hangout. And on the other one, we do an interview at night. Thank you, Ronnie. You are too. Yeah, we do interviews, and we have one tonight. It was supposed to be yesterday, and I told you guys it would be, so I apologize. But we had to reschedule. Usually when that happens, it's the guest had something come up, and they reschedule. But yesterday was my fault, so I do apologize for that. So yesterday was all me. Yesterday's coming up all Jason, as they say. So I do apologize for that. But you know what? It's like one of those things. When that happens, you're like, man, I really wanted to watch it today. But then the next day, you're like, oh, I'm glad that happened because now it's new today. So now you're happy that we didn't do it yesterday, right? Because now you get a new interview tonight. We got people sending Gmails. Gmailing it up, baby. So once they saw her using her EBT card, that's when they said, okay, we got something else going on here, Henderson said. I was really concerned that there was some foul play involved. Rightfully so. Law enforcement officers executed a search warrant on Monica's property. Officers were taken aback by the squalor, which included piles of garbage, rotting food, and industrial waste. Wow. I would describe that property as eerie. There was a very strong odor there and a lot of decay, former Jackson County Sheriff's Detective Julie Denny told Snapped. Then investigators spotted something truly disturbing, a human leg in a catchment pond. Just a human leg sitting there. Guys, I don't know about you, but that's horrifying to imagine that. That's almost as bad as just a head. For some reason, some ways it's almost worse. Just a leg floating there. Ugh, I don't know. It was clear that it was not an animal bone. It appeared, it was a bone. Okay, well, at least it was a bone, not an actual leg. It appeared to me to be a human leg that had been severed mid-femur down to the toes. Oof. Detectives brought Monica into the sheriff's station for questioning. After being confronted with the discovery of a human leg on her property, she told a bizarre and disturbing story. Monica claimed that one day the previous fall, she found her pigs in a feeding frenzy. When she looked to see what it was, she saw Robert lying there with his guts all over the place. He was being eaten, what I believe to be alive, Monica told detectives during the interview. She said she couldn't stop the pig, so she got her gun and shot him. Let me tell you something. I don't think anybody would ever do that. You try to save him and call the ambulance. And if that was true, the first thing you would do is call police. If you're not guilty, because the first thing you're going to think is, I have to tell the police what just happened here because this is going to look horrible on me. You know, you're going to know that. This is going to look horrible on me. So let me get the word out there so everyone knows what happens while they have the evidence and everything right here that they can look into, right? It's exactly what you're going to do. There's no way that you're going to say, I'll just kill him, put him out of his misery, but I won't tell anyone because I don't know, maybe I'll get in trouble. No, you're going to tell people if it happened that way. Not telling people 999 times out of 1,000, you're guilty. Maybe one time out of 1,000, you just are a horrible decision maker. I don't know. But almost every time, you're guilty. Sorry. Monica, here we go. Monica said she didn't tell authorities about the incident because she was afraid they would kill her pigs. Oh, poor you. When asked what else investigators might find on her property, she broke down and told them they would find worse. Monica drew a map of her property, and in the middle put an X. She said, right there, that's where you're going to find Steve. Steve was Stephen Delicino, a handyman who worked on Monica's property a year before Robert got there. How funny. She killed this guy only to save him, but by coincidence, there's another dead guy right there. What a coinkydink, as they say. Monica claimed that in December of 2012, 2 of her guns went missing. She found them in Steve's belongings and confronted him. They got in some sort of wrestling match, she alleged, and the gun went off. So another accident. So the first one was kind of an accident because, it was an accident. He was getting eaten by the pigs. And then the second one is, it was an accident. We were arguing and the gun went off. Sure. And it shot him in the back of the head. That's a weird positioning. So what that tells me is you are overpowering him. Oh, well, I guess it's possible. Because she was previously a guy, right? Yeah, but okay. No matter. But okay, so she would have had which is previously he, just it is what it is, this telling you the story, would have pretty much had to have been winning the match, right? She would have had to have him like this, with the gun right here for it to go off and shoot him in the head. I don't know. Whatever. At one point during the struggle, Stephen was down on his knees. She was above him, like I just said, and she picked up the rifle and she shot him in the head. Oh, she picked it up and shot him. I thought it just went off. She fed Delicino's body to the pigs and later buried whatever was left. Before the interview was over, Henderson asked Monica if there were any dead bodies on the property. She had a truly chilling response. Any other dead bodies? She told me that if she told me about the 17 others, that she would spend the rest of her life in jail. So she didn't know she was already going to spend it. Right? Oh, yeah. I'm only going to tell you about 2 of them. Because if I told you about the other 17, then I would do life in jail. This lady is off. Guys, I think I just heard the mail. And I'm expecting a package. So give me 1 second to check. Because I don't want the package sitting out there because it's raining. So give me 1 second. No package. Sorry, guys. And by the way, that package should be a phone. So all of you guys that I communicate with on Facebook, that it's always hard to get in touch with me. It takes me a long time to respond. Once I get that phone, somebody sent me a phone, it should be much easier to get me. Let's hope. I don't know that it's coming today. It should come today or tomorrow, or maybe at the very latest the next day. It was sent on the 9th, but then you have Sunday was the 10th, so Sunday doesn't count. So if they sent it at night on the 9th, then the 10th didn't count. So yesterday was basically the first day. I don't know, within the next few days. Okay. Anyways, so she thinks she's doing life in jail. She tells about the 17 others. Monica was arrested on January 14th, 2014, and charged with 2 counts each of murder and first-degree abuse of a corpse, as well as 1 count of identity theft, the Mail Tribune reported at the time. Her pigs were subsequently euthanized. Whoa, really? Huh. Okay. Over the following weeks, dozens of crime scene investigators searched Monica's property, digging over 100 holes. They found the remains of Haney, Dilicino, and numerous personal belongings, including a large pile of shoes, but no other bodies. At Monica's trial in April 2015, her former cellmate Jordan Farris at the Jackson County Jail testified that Monica gave a birthday card signed "The Sweetest Murderer in Jackson County." Whew. Medford, Oregon, NBC affiliate Kobe reported at the time, KOBI. That's a good move when you're on trial. Start calling yourself the sweetest murderer in the county. Real good move. And that's going to make the families feel great that you're saying you didn't mean to kill them, you were only trying to help them, and then you're doing stupid stuff like that. So good on you. People never cease to surprise me, guys. Oh, Worcester, Mass. That's near me, Marissa. Near you too, right? I believe Marissa is a fellow Massachusettsonian, whatever we're called. Massonians? What do we call ourselves? Bostonian, I guess. But what do you call when you Massachusetts? Massachusettsian? Susan told me that Robert and her got into an argument because he was drunk and he was trying to come on to her. She shot him and then pushed him into the pig pen. The lovely Susan thinks everyone is wanting her, so she has to kill them. Poor thing. After deliberating for an hour, a jury found Susan Monica guilty on all counts. On April 21st, 2015, she was sentenced to a minimum of 50 years in prison. The Oregonian newspaper reported in 2015. So a minimum of 50 years, so which means they could just keep giving her more time, I think, right? If you don't have a closed-ended case, so she'll be in there for life. They said they believe 100% that there are more people out there. Yeah, she wouldn't have said that 17 people thing. That's a heck of a number to pick, you know? Maybe if she said 10 or 20, then that could be like rounded up or rounded down. But when she says 17, that's pretty specific if you ask me. I guess she could have pulled it out of thin air, but that makes me think she keeps count. And that's even scarier. Woo-hoo. Guys, what is wrong with this world that we live in? Bostonian or masshole. That's what they call us because of our driving. Dang, massholes. I hope when we die, guys, our spirits go and everything's so much better. And we go, oh, woof, thank God we're out of that hellhole we were just in. That regular world. This is much better where we are now. Let's pray that's what happens. Because around here, it can get crazy, let me tell you. Thank God we got little Tobies and cuties to make it better, but what a crazy world we live in still. You staring at the treats? What are you thinking? You're pondering the possibilities of life and its many various forms and what may happen in the afterlife. Yeah, me too. I know. Thinking deep, Toby. Deep thoughts. Toby loving his ear rubbed. It sure is scary what a neighbor is thinking or plotting. Yep. Look at that guy yesterday. We still don't know the motive. I'm waiting to see that. That NFL player, he ran in, killed that elderly couple, their 2 or 3 grandkids, I think 2 grandkids, And then Toby wants to bake it, Marissa. And then the husband and wife who were like in their 70s. There were 2 or 3 grandkids. And then the 2 people working there, the HVAC people. They probably didn't want to kill those 2, but those are witnesses. Since the egg, every time we change it, has gotten bigger and better. Since the egg. I'm not sure what you mean, Pookie. You must be talking about something I missed the beginning of. After they kill, they gotta go. Yeah. Someone kills someone, see you. We can't have you walking around amongst our loved ones if you're having a bad day and killing them off. Sorry. I don't care how much you cry. If you did it, you gotta go. Particularly if it's a kid. There's nothing worse. That's the one thing that pretty much every kind of person, if there's one kind of person everyone hates, from criminals to upstanding citizens to every single type of person and community there is on this world, it's somebody who hurts children. That's the one thing that pretty much everyone hates. No matter how different people are, that's the one thing you know. You do that, everybody's going to hate you and want you gone. There's no coming back from that, or therapy, unless they invent something that you can stick a needle into someone's brain and completely change their thoughts in the future, something that totally changes them. We can't just have you walking around thinking sick thoughts about kids and chance it, you know. That's somewhat everybody wants going. Egg, embryo, fetus, baby, adult, then freedom. Egg, embryo, fetus, baby, adult, then freedom. Freedom, is that when you die? Is that freedom? Yeah, worst kind of monster. No competition, if you ask me. All right. After 3 men vanished from Toronto, investigators consider a cannibal killer. Bruce McArthur was eventually found guilty of murdering 8 men in the Toronto area, but the investigation first began as a possible cannibalism case. A serial killer hiding bodies in planters is horrifying and macabre enough, but the early investigation into what became the Bruce McArthur case went off on a completely different and twisted tangent. From 2010 to 2017, several men disappeared from Toronto's predominantly gay neighborhood, The Village. In 2018, the killer was unmasked. 66-year-old Bruce McArthur, a genial landscaper who occasionally moonlighted as a mall Santa. McArthur eventually pled guilty to murdering 8 men, mostly gay men of Southeast Asian or Middle Eastern descent. He is Canada's most prolific serial killer ever. On September 6, 2010, Skandaraj Navaratnam left a gay bar in The Village with an unknown man. He was never seen again. A few months later, on December 29, 2010, Abdulbazir Faizi told his wife he was heading out to meet a friend. Instead, he was last seen frequenting a local bathhouse in The Village. Then in 2012, Majid Kahan was reported missing by his son. He had last been seen alive on October 8, 2012. All the men vanished within blocks of each other, according to Catching the Serial Killer Bruce McArthur. However, the missing men did not initially receive much attention from authorities. They see that happens with the gay community when they go missing. They don't get a ton of attention on them for some reason. That's sad if that's true. Yeah, Marissa, that's the one kind of person everybody wants gone. Everybody. That's one instinct we all have: protect the children. Thank God. 99.9% of people, of course, excluding the ones who do that. However, the missing men did not initially receive much attention from authorities, as we said. It was only when they were contacted by Interpol, the International Criminal Police Organization, in 2012 that they realized something was seriously amiss. Interpol contacted Toronto authorities because a source in Switzerland had a conversation with a person on a cannibal fantasy website called Zambian Meat. They have those? A cannibal fantasy website. I don't know. I know the internet's like anybody can do anything. You can't really stop them, but there's got to be some kind of regulation, guys. We can't have cannibal fantasy websites, can we? Is that even necessary? Never mind if we should be having it. What's the point? I mean, everybody on that website, the only reason we should have that website is to keep track of who goes there. That's the only reason for that to exist. So we know, okay, who's into this? Let's stay away from them. This user in particular claimed he had killed a man and eaten him in Toronto. When you're first told that, it's unbelievable. It's like, a cannibal, really? Said Detective Sergeant Hank Idsinga with the Toronto Police Service. Then hold up, well, actually, we do have a missing man from Toronto that fits the profile this person's talking about. Talk about terrifying. Authorities believe the victim the user was referring to was Skandaraj Navaratnam, as the user allegedly referred to Skanda during conversations. Oh boy. They also realized they had a few other men who matched the description, Majid Kayhan and Abdul Mazir Faizi. And after flying to Switzerland to interview the source and determining the tip credible, they launched an investigation into the three missing men, dubbed Project Houston, after the famous phrase, Houston, we've got a problem. Oh boy. Investigators were able to trace the user in question, who was named Chefmate50, and learn his real identity, James Alex Brunton, a married former hospital technician living in Peterborough, Ontario. CTV News reported. Those working on Project Houston called him Suspect Zero. Okay, that's a different guy though. For 7 months, they surveilled Brunton as they investigated his potential involvement. They also considered a possible link between him and another notorious Canadian killer, Luke Magnotta, who, if you don't know, Luke Magnotta is the subject of the Netflix documentary Don't F with Cats, which is a good one. Watch that if you're into that kind of stuff. There isn't a word bad enough to compare it with. Yuck. Wasn't Luke Magnotta a part of that? Maybe I'm confused. Yeah, okay. So you said it before me. Sorry. Yep. Luca Magnotta is the Don't F with Cats guy. And yep, they were thinking he might have some connection here. Magnotta was in custody during the investigation, and the possible cannibal connection, as well as several other clues, drove authorities to see if Brunton and Magnotta had any links. While chatting with other young men online about cannibalism, Brunton often mentioned a cannibal named Nathan, who worked as a dancer at a club called Remington's, CBC News reported. Magnotta had also once worked as a dancer at that club and had called himself Nathan in text messages. According to the outlet. Magnotta had even put up online ads looking for Middle Eastern men only a few months before Navaratnam, the first victim, vanished. Okay, well, this guy's fitting every possible thing. Plus, when Magnotta was a teenager, he lived only a few blocks away from Brunton. Well, that sounds like a heck of a good suspect if you ask me. What's up, Pookie? All these incidences alarmed investigators, but the evidence was clear. They concluded Brunton's cannibalism fantasies were just that, make-believe. Neither Magnotta nor Brunton were ever connected to the deaths of Navaratnam, Faizi, or Kayhan. Project Houston was over. Brunton, however, was convicted of child P-word charges in 2014. I try not to say that together. Child P-word, you know what I mean. Just not good for the for YouTube. Houston did first surface. In the end, the man behind all the murders was Bruce McArthur. And while it would take several more years for Toronto authorities to catch him, Project Houston did first surface McArthur's name to investigators. CBS News reported a username and email address, SilverFox51, was found in Navaratnam and Faizi's computer data. After finding a corresponding number to the email address in Navaratnam's contact list, detectives were able to identify SilverFox51 as Bruce McArthur. So it looks like Luca didn't really have anything to do with it in the end, but yeah, he was part of the investigation. I don't like Mondays. Do you remember that? Today is a Monday. We're gonna start doing this less days, guys. Maybe like 4 days a week or something. It's just been everything's been dropping quite a bit. I think I might be overdoing it. I'm definitely not going to do more than one in a day. I was trying to do that to get people over to this channel, but I think we have everyone that we're going to have. So, all right, guys. Well, that is it for the news. we're going to finish up there. We typically try to go about an hour, but there wasn't quite as much today. I forgot to do the whole lightning round for the final 10 minutes thing, but that's okay. Job, you have to wait, right, buddy? It's okay. Oh, hang on a second. Okay. Sorry, guys. He has his eye things. Toby's the king of eye crust. But that's it for today. Thanks for joining us, guys. Had a pretty good little chat in there today. You guys are pretty talkative, so hopefully you enjoyed yourself. I know a lot of you guys just listen and, while you're driving or taking a shower or doing this and that and the other thing. So a lot of people listen and don't talk. But hopefully we can build this up, guys, and get it, up to 50 to 100 people or something. Trying to look for ways to do that. Get it in line with the nighttime show. We have a good amount of people that watch that one. But the morning one's quite a different show, so we're going to have to keep making tweaks and figuring things out. I feel like the news is a good direction to take. So when we add in Wendy and Annie's case investigations, that should probably help. But we shall see how it all works out. All right, guys, that's the end. I will see you tonight on the other channel, the Jason Hebert channel, for a missing persons interview. All right? I love you guys. I will see you then. Goodbye from me and goodbye from the Toby. Take care. Goodbye, everybody.